parade was amazing. Singing was great. There's flares. There's people everywhere. I made a speech. Did you see my speech, by the way?
No, I didn't see your speech.
I made a speech in Turkish.
Once again, welcome back to the crossover with Joe Arlauckas. This year, we've been focusing, of course, on the 25th anniversary of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. And there ain't no better way to celebrate the 25th anniversary than with the MVP, Mr. Nigel Hayes-Davis, my man. Welcome to the crossover. How the hell are you? What a month.
Yeah, what a month. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. I think this is my second appearance, right? Second appearance on the crossover. Thank you very much.
Man, the first one was about your life, which was an incredible episode, learning about you. But this is the one I was actually looking forward to doing.
Yeah, it's a lot better. It means I won something. So I'm glad that we're on this as well. Thanks for having me.
How's the parade, my man?
It's amazing. Actually, it's amazing. I was more emotional about the parade because I was telling Scotty this as we're sitting on the bus. Like, I couldn't envision a parade, so like I didn't know how to like prepare for it before. But the fans were amazing. There's the people. There's a guy we let on the bus. As soon as the parade started, this guy was at the arena. We're on the highway and we see this guy full sprint, still chasing the bus. And we said, when we make it to Bada Street, he's coming on the bus. If he makes it there, he's coming on the bus. And he made it there. So we brought him on the bus.
And you brought him up?
Amazing.
No way.
Yeah, we did. We brought him up. He got pictures with everyone. I said, we saw this guy sprint from the arena down the highway. He's running on the highway. And I said, all right.
Who was he?
I have no idea. I don't know. I didn't even get his name.
I didn't get his name.
I took a picture with him though, but I'm so happy that he got on the bus because that level of dedication to Fener is exactly what the fans showed. The parade was amazing. Singing was great. There's flares. There's people everywhere. I made a speech. Did you see my speech, by the way?
No, I didn't see your speech.
I made a speech in Turkish.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yes.
After the show, you sat down with my son and did a little bit of an interview, and I went over that. I don't even know if you know that's my son, but anyways, he was telling me all this stuff about you, and he's like, he was more excited about the parade than anything else.
Parade was amazing. Yeah. Parade was great.
I mean, you've been here for a few years, man. How much? I mean, you've kind of got integrated into the society of Fenerbahce and the fans, and they love you. How much does it mean to you to bring that title to them? Because I mean, it's been since 2017. They hoisted it before, but it's been a long time since then.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, to be honest with you, probably not the best answer, but I was trying to win for myself and my teammates. You know, the fans were
Right.
like an afterthought, but I'm happy that they won. I know the them winning one and waiting so long to get another one was huge and important. And I was the same actually. Like I mentioned before, I wasn't emotional or emotive at all when we won. And like I said in my interviews, because I mentally prepared winning and I experienced winning so much in my mind leading up to it that like I was numb to the winning. So my joy came from watching my teammates, Melly, his emotions crying right before we win, and watching the guys with their families, with their kids, watching the staff, watching the coaches. I had my moment with Sarunas. We had our handshake. Again, that was a moment I had already scripted out was going to happen. I knew he wanted to hug me, and I needed to give him this handshake first because we've had a colorful journey together as coach and player. So I needed to get the firm handshake to say, you know, look what we ended up doing after what we've been through. And yeah, it was great. It was great watching everybody celebrate, be happy, and what it meant to everyone.
My question to you is, like, I read this through a couple of the on your Instagram and a couple of different things. How do you mentally prepare yourself for this moment so intensely and so profoundly that when it happens, it's actually like you've lived it. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to know this because it's kind of like what I picture. You visualize shooting a free throw before you shoot it. I know you have your little routine where you talk to yourself
Mhm.
and that's all like the little routine. But man, how do you how did you do it where it was like no big deal? You didn't look that emotional. I mean, you had a big smile on your face, of course, the biggest smile I've seen from you in a long time. But you did seem calm, cool, and collective about it. How do you prepare for that?
Fortunately, I've been able to meet great people in my life, um, whether it's teammates, whether it's a lot of my I would say mental fortitude and intellect comes from women I've met throughout the course of my life, whether it was a girlfriend or someone I met on one of my trips or something like that that's introduced me to things. And as I go, I get books, I read, I see videos and things, and I put it together. And like I've gotten to the space where I've kind of understood what most of, the gurus, the top performers, the experts are saying about how you have to see things. And when you see them so clearly, so vividly, it helps you manifest those things faster. And in order to manifest something like whatever it is that you want, feel that feeling now. And then when you get there, that is how you like bridge that gap between the mental vision of it and then it actually manifesting in reality. So I was telling my parents we were doing something here and I told them that actually on the way back from the arena, we walked back from the arena to the hotel after winning. And I was telling them like, yeah, mom, like I really don't feel anything. And I was explaining to them like I was writing in my I was writing in my phone in my notes and I have if you write in your notes, it says it has the date and the time, the last time you typed something in that note. And I was showing her on my phone, like, look, Ma, I wrote all of this. Like my speech I gave sitting at the table, at the EuroLeague table, I wrote that at 2:30 in the morning before the game. So question one is why was I up at 2:30 before a final?
Because
But also,
you can't sleep anyways the night before a final.
right. So like I'm writing that speech and I'm telling her like I'm crying writing the speech. So like I'm laying in my bed, I'm writing the speech and I'm already seeing myself standing there with the MVP trophy. I'm crying because I'm happy and I'm thinking I'm gonna have these KG moments of like anything is possible. I'm screaming, I'm crying, I'm hugging teammates. So I'm doing all of that. I did that on Thursday night. I did it
Uh-huh.
again on Friday before the semifinal game. Saturday night, I did it again. So I get to the game Sunday, and after I win, I don't have any emotions in me because I experienced it all. So now I'm just present as I can be. And in that presence, I appreciate what I've done, where I've been. I can appreciate the journey. I can appreciate looking at my teammates. I appreciate looking at fans who, like, when you win, you're down there on the court and there's 500 people I've never seen before holding the trophy. And I'm like,
Of course.
who are these people? But like, I'm so present that like, I'm looking at stuff like that rather than just running around crying and, so it's,
Do you have the same other preparation for the game itself or the result of the game? I mean, obviously, we always think about what we do in certain situations in the game. If I'm at the free throw line, if I got a wide open three, something like that. Is it the same preparation for you, or is it a different type of preparation?
it's the same preparation. It's really why I have, throughout the season, people have always mentioned like, now if you play the first half of the game, you'd probably average 30. Because in the way these games have been going with EuroLeague, I end up finishing the first quarter with like 4 points. And
Right,
then the second half, I end up having 16, 18, or 20 points.
right.
And like that visualization comes because at halftime, I'm going, okay, so I just watched how they played me. These are the spots where I could have done something. These are the spots. Okay, so now when you get there, do this, and that. And then I go out at halftime, it happens in that way. So everything feels so slow. Everything feels so just free flowing. And it's like in that flow state where I'm
Right.
at. So that's kind of how it goes. So it happens in games, but it also happens for big goals, like for example, winning the EuroLeague.
I see that shirt you got on. And of course, I got to talk about it. Job's finished. the job is finished, kind of, so to speak. Of course, you got the Turkish playoffs coming up, and in basketball and in the sports world, just like anything else in life, you're only really as good as your last game, right?
That's very true. That's very true. Speaking of the shirt, get yours at project11.org. Get your shirt. Yes, thank you very much for noticing it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to go get one of those.
It looked good on you.
I'm getting in shape, so I might get. Do they stretch for me? Should I get a tight one and
You trying to show off the biceps? Look like you've
I,
been doing a lot of curls or
I'm
something going
trying. I'm
on.
trying.
Okay.
I'm trying. I'm trying to get. It's summertime, my man. It's beach time.
See, that's the mistake people make. The summer body starts in the winter.
I know. I gotta get on that. I'm trying to get on that path now. I'm trying to get
Okay,
on that path now.
it's never too late. It's never too late. As long as you're dedicated,
Nah,
there's always time.
nah, man. I'm about to turn 60 this summer, so I gotta do something to change up, brother.
You look great for 60. You
Well,
you look
thanks.
you look pretty good
I,
for 60. I
I
was gonna give
appreciate
you
that.
52 maybe. 60,
I,
you
fe-
look good for
I
60. It's not bad.
physically, I felt a lot better at 52. I can tell you that, no doubt. Let's
I'm
get back.
sure you did.
Let's get back to you though. So I want to know, like during the season, because I felt like you guys were probably, even though Scotty went down early, and that had to be like painful for the team. Um, you guys didn't really go through many up and downs. You took Christmas off. It looked like to me you went 1-5 during the Christmas
Mm.
break. You lost to Monaco by 30 at home, which is ironic that you faced them in the finals. And then a couple of days later you went to Barcelona and lost by 27. It's the only real like tactical thing I want to talk about during the season, because it was what happened during that time. What was the reaction of the team? What was the reaction to Sardis and the coaching staff? I mean, that was a really, really tough run. Now let me finish to say that you guys went 18-3 from that point. So that's not bad in EuroLeague.
Um, that's not bad at all. What happened? Just basketball ebbs and flows, man. Of basketball, honestly. It happens sometimes. It's not ideal. It's not beautiful. To lose by 30 at home is not good at all. And then to go and lose in Barcelona by 20 something, as you mentioned, it's not good. But it's just part of figuring it out. We were losing some players, bringing guys back. We had new guys come, um, trying to integrate them. First time in European basketball in EuroLeague, playing for Shars. And then we go to Barca again. We lose Wade to another injury. Devin was trying to come back from his injury with his hand. So there was a lot of guys in, guys out, trying to get things going, trying to figure out how we're playing with one another. And that's, like I said, it's all right. I mean, it happens. But as you said, funny enough, losing to Monaco by 30 and then Barcelona, we were looking at those two games. It was like, okay, we can learn a lot from these games. And then as we
Right.
progress through the season, we end up losing to Monaco again at their place. And um Stars mentioned in film that even though we lost, we played well. And if we learned from that game, we would have a chance to win it all. And of course, we end up beating Monaco to win it all. So uh storybook ending, I guess. So those two losses in there kind of shaped us to what would end up happening at the end of the year.
Well, that's what I kind of felt. I felt like that was just an eye-opening time for you guys to say, okay, we got to get our shit together here, man. We got a good team, even though we got players coming in and out. Everybody's got that going on in EuroLeague. To go 1-5 and lose those games, I'm sure you said you had that firm handshake with Sardis at the end of the championship. You didn't want a hug, you want a firm handshake because of everything. What was he like during that time? Was he more under control in difficult times? Because we know he can get a little bit out of control every now and then.
Yeah, he was a lot more calm, and it was funny because walking around the hotel in Abu Dhabi, there was people from other teams, people that have played with him, people that have seen him close and personal, and they were always saying like to me, "Hey, like, how's everything?" I said, "Fine," and they were like, "Sharice looks way more calm than than in previous years of him being at the Final
Right.
Four," and I'm going, "You're actually right. He is," which is good, which is something I've always said to amongst teammates and amongst people that ask that um, once he becomes a little more relaxed, his teams will win the Final Four. And I think part of it was I think he made a joke at the press conference with Spanulis about them not having the ball or something, as
Yeah,
Spanulis said
yeah.
to him. And I think that was one of the things that was like the dark cloud over him was in him feeling like I can be out there. This is what I did when I was playing. Why are you guys not doing what I did when I won my four? Like,
Right.
and I think he kind of released that and said, okay, like, obviously I know what I'm doing. My tactics are great. I'm a genius as a coach. I have the team I wanted. I have the team I picked. I have great players on my team. Let me trust the players with what the work we've done throughout the year. And him giving that trust, I think, is what ultimately allowed the situation to manifest and what it did to and us winning. And he was great. He was very emotional with it. His family was there. He was happy. He finally got what was it, 5 straight, 6 straight
Yeah.
Final Fours in a row,
5, I think, yeah.
and he finally got the win. Yeah, so it's a very, very good moment for him and his family.
Look, man, I'm a firm believer that as an ex-player, that one of the hardest things to do is transform yourself into a coach right away. He came almost from being a player into coaching, and it's tough to get that attitude out of you. It's tough to get that attitude out of your system. I was a little bit critical of him over the last few years because I felt exactly what you just said. He was still had that mentality, man. Like I can do this, I could do this, I could do this, and you can't show people, you can't transfer that over to other people. But I think over the last couple of years, you've seen him totally different. He's still going to yell at you. He's still going to be on
Mhm.
your ass a little bit, but he's done it in a different way. He's done it as more of a coach than an ex-player.
Yeah, definitely. I think that transition was huge. It's also great that he is going from a player to a coach, and especially one who is obviously good enough to be all EuroLeague top 25 team. So like his experience as a player, what he's seen, the coaches he's played for, really helps in transferring that knowledge and information to players, as well as I would say I think it gives an advantage as a coach because in situations that are tight, he has two experiences that he can like pull from. It's like what would I see? What did I do? What did I think and feel as a player? And also now that I've been a coach for these years, what have I learned from wins or losses in these situations at all? So I think it's a great advantage for him to be able to coach now from being not only a player but one that was really 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 good.
Timing is everything, man. And like I know it may not be that more important to you that you won the MVP. But the fact that you won MVP on the 25th anniversary, I mean, a lot of people could go back to like 2014. I can't name the MVP of that one. You can go back to 2021. I probably can't name the MVP of that one. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
I think being the 25th anniversary MVP, plus, that 50-point game helps a lot. You're going to kind of go down in history here as being remembered as that guy.
Yeah, definitely. That's again, those were goals of mine when I came to after I left Barcelona. My first year here was to have respect put back on my name as a basketball player. So I accomplished that. Then after that, it was how do I like cement myself in European basketball? Obviously, at the top of that list I mentioned last year was the number one stat in basketball, and the number one goal was to put the ball in the rim. So who did that the most? Go for that record. So I have that record. Obviously, champions are remembered, and then the MVP of those championships. So then that became the next goal. And yeah, I guess it's timed up perfectly for me. The 25th anniversary, the celebration, the logo's all different and pretty and stuff, the new basketball.
I
And
got the
the
book right back here behind me right there.
exactly, yeah. So like this whole special commemoration for it to happen. And my team that I was on, Fenerbahce, we win. I'm able to be the MVP, although we had two other guys that for sure could have won it in Devin and Marco. They played tremendous. But to be able to do
Yeah.
that and do it with this timing and with this memory attached to it. Uh, yeah, hopefully people don't forget in 10 years. Maybe that'd be nice.
They believe me, they ain't gonna forget this one. This is a big one, especially the Turkish people. But man, hey, when y'all were 1-5 during that streak, the one game you did win, you probably don't remember, was the game here at Real Madrid, where I think you had 33. I spoke to you before the game, and you told me that you had a couple bad games in a row, and you set a standard for yourself, and that people were getting on you a little bit for setting that standard. And you and I had that talk. I don't know if you remember this or not. And I just, man, the most important thing you did was set a standard. That's all you
Yeah.
can do. and keep going from it. And I said it during the game, the commentary, and I think that means a lot to you because of everything you work for. Like you said, coming from Barcelona, and you're visualizing all this stuff, and not only a visualization of setting the standard, but you actually did it, and then you exceeded it by coming winning the MVP this year and taking on the title.
Yeah, it's just like I tell people all the time, everyone, likes to say and people see what you've done lately, like with any job, especially in European basketball, is what have you done for me lately? That's what people see,
Exactly.
and that's what people remember. And everyone talks about the numbers are winning and the record, but my motivation comes from the feeling I remembered in Barcelona. I hate to talk about it, but when people bring up the success, is just innately how the conversation goes. But the feelings I had, the interviews like these I didn't get, the requests I
Right.
didn't get, the numbers I didn't have, all of that is what fuels me to continue to do what I'm doing now. So these last 3 years has been fueled by that season, that low of a season, and just trying to, um, like I said, establish my name, and then from that, try to cement it as best as I can. I think that's the goal that we have as humans is how can I be remembered? What can I do with my gift? What can I do with my time? So that way future generations will remember you. And that's kind of the goal. And also another driving force behind what I do. I said after winning in Abu Dhabi that I work extremely hard. I think there's very, very few people, very few basketball players on the planet that work as hard as I do and that put in as much time as I do on and off the court with body preparation, work, film, and everything. And yeah, it's just a matter of all of that now coming into fruition, getting getting what I deserved and earned from the work that I've put in and the commitment that I've made to myself and basketball.
My son told me that after the game, he forgot to mention and ask you about one thing, and he wanted me to do it now, so I'm gonna do it now. How important was the USA basketball experience for you in this quest? Because it's all part of your journey one way or the other,
Yeah, it
and
is.
it seemed like a huge moment for you as a person, as a player, just everything.
Yeah, for sure. It was, as I've said before, it was the happiest moment of my life, happiest 3 weeks that I've ever had. And it was tremendous, in terms of visualization. Again, that's not something I didn't see that happening for myself. So when it happened, it was a shock, needed time to process it. I told my friends like the first 3 days, I'm walking around like, wow, it's just, oh my gosh, you guys can't believe it. And then after I got that out of my system, it was just, all right, how can I learn, observe, watch, repeat, create, copy from player last player on the bench to all the way to LeBron? Like, what can I do and look at everyone and what they do, how they warm up, how they stretch, what do they eat, how do they take care of their body? So I'm watching all of that during workouts when guys are shooting. I'm trying to go to after practice, guys do their routines and their workouts. So I'm trying to go from each player and rebound for them. And like, okay, like, what do you do? What are you working on? What are you doing? Go to the next person. All right, what'd you do on your off day? Okay, what'd you do? So like, just learning all of that and just being
They're probably like, "Who is this guy, man?"
valued and just being around it is like I'm telling my friends and family like, so I'm in the top, let's say 98%, and those guys are the 1%. So like they're better than 99.999% of basketball players in the world.
Right.
So I'm right here in the circle. And I have to take the biggest thing I take away from that was the confidence that those guys have in themselves, which is something that you need. So if you want to do anything great in life, whether it's baking, basketball, cooking, being a teacher, you got to have almost delusional confidence in your abilities. And being at the USA, I see the way guys walk, I see the way guys talk, I see the way they work. And me being around that, I gave that, you know, to myself, like, okay, like I'm here. There's only a certain amount of people that are here. So I need to take all of this and apply it to myself with the way I work, with the way I talk, with the way I carry myself, with the way I play, and bring it to my season next year. Final Four MVP and champ.
Not a lot of players look at that like that. You know what I mean? There's a mental fortitude that you have to I guess to absorb information, absorb by visually watching people do things and turn it yourself. You talk about hard work and you talk about the time you put in. How hard is it really to work on your craft, man? It's because it's when I did it was like it was enjoyable. It's like people say, well, you know what? You went out and shot 500 shots a day or whatever. You did this, you did that, man. It was like to me, it was like that was fun.
Um, no, it's not always fun. I tell you that much. And a lot of things I do during my workouts is I tell myself like, all right, now, like as I'm doing, especially the biggest time I talk to myself is during cardio and conditioning, because obviously that's the worst thing ever. So
That's
like
all up here, man. It's all mental.
it is. So like I'm telling myself like, all right, we like that vacation we took, right? You remember when I was in no, I'm serious. Like I'm telling you the honest truth. Like I was in Buenos Aires and there's this tour going on. The lady like the tour starts in 20 minutes. And I said, can I just do the tour on my own? And they're like, well, we don't do that. I said, how much does it cost? So I ended up paying like $400 to go do this tour on my own and skip the line. And like when I'm working out this past summer and I'm doing this cardio I got from Steph, and I'm doing that at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm on this assault bike, and I feel like I'm about to die, and I'm telling myself in my head, well, you like being able to do that vacation and skip the line, huh? All right, let's keep going. But no, the work isn't fun. Getting up at 4, because when I come back to America, I'm still on European time, so I like to keep it. So I go to
Right.
sleep at like 8:30 or 9, and like I wake up immediately at like 3:34. So I work out at 4, and then I get on the court at 8 or 9, and then I have my craft class, and then I'm back in the gym again at 5 or 6 doing more work. The summer before, I was working out at 7. I would lift at 12. I would drive 3 hours to go work, or drive an hour, 3 hours later to go work again. And then I would come back at night at 8. And in my mind, I'm going, no one else is, there's very small people that are doing 4 workouts like that a day. And that
Right.
motivation is what I have. So like when I gave that speech, it's like I worked my ass off. And the speech was more talking to my younger self and saying like, you always ask like, would it be worth it? Would I get the things I want? And I'm just talking to myself going, you did it. And I'm also talking to the kids going, everyone tells you you work hard, you get what you earn and what you deserve. And that's not always the case.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't always get what you work for, even if you're deserving of it. But that doesn't mean you stop the work. You keep going, and eventually it'll be your time.
Well, in that case, it's usually the strong that survive that keep pushing through those moments where, like you talked about Barcelona, how difficult Barcelona was for you, and trying to get through that moment. It'd be just as easy to slow down, quit, and just be like a normal player, get paid normal, and
Hmm.
it's always easy to take a step back. It's always more difficult to take 2 steps forward. And by the way you're explaining to me your workout, you definitely work harder than I did when I was young.
See, I figured it's not
Exactly.
easy, but I like what comes with it. I like the like I said, it's the best job in the world. I love being on the court and the whole arena's happy for you. The whole arena's cheering for you. I love the winning. I love what winning brings you. I love meeting fans who are like, you're my favorite player, because I remember that moment I had when I met Kobe. I love being able to travel on my off days. When we go, coach goes, all right, tomorrow's off. And then I run to my phone and I'm going, all right, where can I fly to tomorrow? And then I just book a flight, a hotel, pay for a tour guide, and I don't care how much anything costs, because that's what comes with the work. I've earned it. I've put in the work to be able to live like that. And yeah, and it's a trap. Working hard is a trap, because once you see what it gets you, now you have to keep doing it.
Right. It's an addiction.
Yeah. Now you're stuck. Yeah.
You can't turn around and go the other way because mentally it'll mess with your head if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Either you fall in love with the work or you fall in love with the result. Either way, you're stuck in the same loop. So it's a good problem to have.
But this result that you have of win MVP and winning the championship is a positive thing. Obviously, it's a great thing, but man, you're still gonna come around losing. You're gonna come next year, you got another season. It's like, I think when you talk about walking back from the arena, what I felt when I won the European Championship, I felt like an emptiness. Like, man, it's over. Like this part is over, and now where do I start? I have to do this all over again, and the process just continues. And even though it says the job's finished, we always talk about the fact that you're only as good as your last game.
Right. Yeah. No, that's the, I guess, the curse or the downside or the not glorious side of being a winner is that after you win, it's over.
It's over. It's done.
And now you have to do it again, you know? And that's why like the name of my YouTube video series is always Enjoy the Walk, because the quote I saw was, a man who enjoys walking will go further than a man who enjoys the destination, because
Right.
the beauty is in the journey. So the beauty was everything that led right up until the confetti came down, because then once it comes down, it's like you said, it's over. And now next year you have to do it again. And no one cares what you did last year. Everyone cares what did you do last game.
What have you done for me lately, man? What have you done for me lately? I met your parents on the court, your mom and your stepdad. Your mom
Mhm.
was that your stepdad looked at me. He's like, "You were." He said you were on the tour yesterday. I went on one of those the safari tours that you.
The funny story about that is he told me, he said, "I saw the man and I'm hearing the man. I recognize him by his voice." And I said, "That's actually funny." That's actually funny. So yeah, he was like, "I know this man for some. Why do I know him? I feel like I know him." And then we were talking about that actually. That he was like from. I said, "That's why, from the games.
Yeah, that's.
I knew I recognized him."
And your mom was like, "Man, I hated it. I was so sick." I said, "I get you." I said, "I felt the same way. They had me in the back of this Land Cruiser, flipping the Land Cruiser around."
Yeah, she
I was like,
hated it. She hated
"Yeah."
every second of it. Every second of it.
She didn't hate being there, man. I saw her crying. You even yelled at her to stop crying because you won. What was it
Yeah,
like to have them there? I know from our first crossover interview how important your stepdad is to you. That's the reason why you named Nigel Hayes-Davis.
mhm.
Um, and how important was that to have them there for that moment, man, and just be able to shine and have them live that with you?
Absolutely amazing. Like I said my stepfather, Aubrey Davis, the greatest man I've ever met. I've watched
I
him.
love it.
I watched him work 12, 13, 14 hours. I watched him do all that so that way I could go play AAU and travel. I watched him bring my mom. This is still one of my favorite stories to tell about him work 12 hours, drive 6 hours to Wisconsin so my mom could watch us play, drive back
Yep.
after the game, and then go back to work again. So like him doing that so that way I could try to live a dream and chase a dream. So to be able to win in front of him and to like let him enjoy that, like, you know, all the stuff he did helped me realize my dreams. And then my mother always been my number one fan, number one supporter, number one critic. Her believing in me, being her always telling me and believing I'm the best, even when I wasn't the best. Her being there, watching me um, leave the house at 5, 6 a.m. so I could go work out, me going to school, her picking me up at 9 o'clock after I finished going to football practice. And then I went back to the gym to go shoot, her bringing me back home. And then I still have to do chores because it was my week of chores. So like I come back, I have to do all the chores. Her knowing all the work that I put in. So for them to be able to see one of the not one of the biggest, you know, championship, the biggest awards you can have in the European basketball, for them to watch their son and child be able to do that. I feel like it was more of a gift for them than it was for me.
Amazing, man. Yeah, it's just amazing to have them there and watch that. I saw his face, and it was like there was, other than the fact he was shocked to see me and figure out that I was on that tour with him the day before, you could see in his face how proud he was of the moment. And I'm sure, as a father that brought up 3 kids, you remember all those moments of taking them here, taking them there, and getting that. Talk to me about that. I want to talk to you about the 2 last things, and I'll let you go. This Instagram video that you did with the 50 olives and the
Did
whole
you
thing.
like that one?
I I I freaking loved it, man.
Yes.
I like all your stuff, but that one was.
Yes.
who who produced that? Who did that? I mean, that
So
was.
I'm always willing and always love giving credit to people. What happens is I have these ideas. I work with a wonderful lady here, Hyundai. She has her United company for marketing and digital wonderful things that she does. So she helped me, my videographer here, Umer, and I told her I had this idea. I had a different idea I wanted to do, and then I watched the I was thinking, what commercial did Kobe do or something like that? So then boom, obviously this one. So I watched the commercial and I'm like, all right, cool. This is what I want to do. And then as we're driving to the restaurant with my parents, because my parents were in the background there because we had ate at that restaurant before,
Oh,
and
they were there also. Okay.
they were watching it, and I'm sitting at as the food is coming out, I'm typing the script for the commercial. And then the owner, Jim, there's a restaurant, La Scarpetta in Istanbul, one of my favorite Italian places here. He let me come. It was like, we're in there, it's like 1, 2 in the morning. This is after the parade. We're filming this. So like we're doing it and I'm thinking, you think people are gonna like this? I mean, I feel like it's good, but I hope they like it. I hope my biggest thing was I hope people understand the reference
Right.
because I wasn't sure that I didn't know how well the reference would cross over. See how I did that?
Right. There you go.
Crossover.
There you go. Look at that
Yes.
little shout
So,
out too.
yes, I wasn't sure how well it would cross over, but no, it's great. That was just a video from the heart. I'm glad you liked it, and hopefully
Loved it.
there's one more coming at the end of the year. We'll see though.
Loved it. I want to know who was the bartender, the owner of the restaurant?
No, no, the waiter was an actual
Or the
waiter. Like he's the one
oh
who actually like as we ate
dude,
dinner before
he
filmed, he was he was the waiter, and then
he was he
he
was
stayed
in
after.
I'm sorry to say this, but he was better than you.
You think so?
Yeah, he was awesome,
Wonderful,
man. The
wonderful.
the the way he was intrigued by it, the way he looked at you like, "The hell's this guy talking about?" 50 up.
Yes, I loved it too. Um, and he's a Fenerbahce fan, so I gave him and his family tickets the next day. We played a game, or 2 days later we played a game. So I gave him tickets to the game. No, it was great. Appreciate everyone that was
Give
involved with
give
it.
him a shout out for me because I thought he deserves some kind of Academy Award for that. That was it
He will get
it
his
it
Turkish Oscar soon.
it didn't look like he hadn't been there before, that's for sure. I want the last thing I want to talk about is a little thing on Instagram about Kobe, about writing that little letter to Kobe.
Oh, again, another reason why I didn't have any emotions. So again, I cried writing that, and like the reason why is because my mom always gets on me about Nigel, why don't you like take more pictures with people? Why do you not want to take pictures? And I'm like, I always tell her like, because I don't think I'm that important to people here. Like, because in my mind, I'm being serious.
I
I'm being
love it.
serious.
No, no,
In
I
my
love it.
mind, my idol is Kobe, right? So like
Right.
the world knows who Kobe Bryant is. Everyone in the world knows who Kobe Bryant is. So like it makes sense in my eyes, like, wow, that's Kobe. But I don't look at myself like when like a fan sees me here or someone sees me here, I'm not looking, I'm like, why do you want a picture with me? Like, in my mind, I'm going like, I don't see like why you want a picture with me. Because my idol, like the kids are like, oh, you're my idol. And I'm going, huh, my idol's Kobe, so I see why everyone wants a picture with Kobe. I'm just Nigel. So I don't understand it. But the reason behind that was like meeting him, and I still remember it. He gave me a pair of shoes. He signed the shoes for me. And obviously, like in the post I wrote, I said, like every kid says when they see an every basketball player is like, I want to be like Kobe, I want to be like you. And then he goes, keep working hard and you'll get there. And after he passed away, I changed that to the screensaver of my phone. And so now every time I wake up in the morning, keep working hard, you get there. I remember the last thing he said to me. And I met him one time. So like I'm laying in bed, I'm writing it, and I'm crying because I'm going, damn, like what would Kobe do? Like I have to, like, and I really in my mind I'm going, he probably might be here. If he was still with us, he might actually be in Abu Dhabi. I'm sure everyone would have invited him, would have loved for him to come. And I'm thinking like, how would he win this game? Being doubted, how do you finish the story? How do you finish the chapter? How do you get the reward for the work? And like I wrote it, and as you saw from the screenshot, I wrote that again at like 1:30 in the morning. Again, you're probably wondering why are you up at 1:30 before the finals? But like I'm in bed, I'm writing it, and then like I screenshot it, and then in my mind again, I'm already like, well, as soon as I win, and as soon as I win and I'm Final Four MVP, just like he would do, I'll share it to the world as a source of inspiration. So like this is how someone inspired me to always continuously work. So hopefully they see the way that I'm inspired, that they'll do whatever in their life, whether it's basketball or not, they'll continue the same level of inspiration and work and continue to go for whatever dreams and goals they have.
Oh my man, not only you a special MVP because it's the 25th anniversary, you're just a special person, man. I've known it from the first time I met you. You've been probably the player that I know. I know a lot of players in this league that are is probably the most down to earth guy that I've met. That you just have your head on so straight, and these letters to Kobe, these letters at night are not normal things that people do, and the way it's transpired you into being a player that you are. And the last one I want to talk about was the one you said about the doubters. What's better now, a champ or MVP? I mean, I
I
don't know. I don't know if I want to call that petty or I want to call that sarcastic, but I liked it no matter what.
I always would say petty. I mean, because there's so much. If you could see my phone, the next time whenever that is, I would show you on Twitter and on Instagram. I save and bookmark everything that I see. Like I scroll through every time you do a podcast with someone, every time someone else does, and go, who do you think's the best player in Europe? Who do you think is gonna win? Save, 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 save. What do you think about Fenner? Save. Cannot delete it. Save, save. See all of it. And then after you win, like you said, everyone had an opinion all year. Da 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 da. Now I'll ask you for your opinion. Which one sounds better, champ or MVP?
I
Since
like
everyone has an opinion.
I said, I can't cheer for a team because I'm not supposed to, but man, I'll be damned if I can't cheer for a player.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Hey, you know what? And I'm gonna tell you what I love the most about what you did in the finals. It had nothing to do with your free throws. It had nothing to do with your shots. It had nothing to do with that block shot over Tice. It had nothing to do with it. It had to do with the fact that I saw you dive on the floor 3 times when you didn't need to dive. You did. You had the one in the corner. The one in the corner there that was just like such a great. You sent me the message. It was like the Dennis Rodman play, but it
Bonzi
was
and
it
I
was
have been talking about that all year. We've been saying we have to recreate this picture. And I'll be honest with you. Soon as I saw the ball, I swear to you, the first thing mine was Dennis Rodman. Go. And I immediately jump for it. But like it's to set the tone. Like, it lets people know like how much are you I made an Instagram post where I had Casey Rivers, another EuroLeague champ. I had him narrate
that's my
the
boy Casey.
I know, that's why I brought his name, but I had
I
him
love
narrate
Casey.
it, and one of the lines was, "How bad do you want it?" So, like, are you willing to dive and land on wood, concrete, in the chairs, land on someone's foot for one extra possession? Because this is EuroLeague. We always know it
That's
comes
it, man.
down to possession. So, like, how bad do you want to win? And that was me showing my teammates, like, hey, I'm going into the first row, into the chairs, into the shoes, expensive seats. So that way we have one more possession, hopefully win.
All right, my man. Well, again, congratulations. Thank you for being here. I'm looking at this shirt. I keep reading it. The job's finished, but you know as well as I do that this job ain't finished. We talked about it. You're only as good as your last game. You set this standard. You're MVP, and now people are going to ask you why you didn't get MVP next season. Why you is all the questions are going to come to you. So what? I know you have the Turkish. I know you have the Turkish league coming up here, and then I want to wish you luck on that. But what's Nigel Hayes-Davis's next victory, my man?
I actually have a script I'm writing for a
Uh-oh.
movie. Yes. So I would like to do that. As you've seen with my challenge accepted videos, I've been writing the dialogue for those. I've been finding the people to speak, kind of putting the idea together along with the help of my team. But yeah, I have a script I've been writing. Let's say we get on the plane and on the way to Abu Dhabi, I'm writing for 30 minutes, like writing the script for this movie. So that would be something I would love to see come to fruition.
All right, man. If you got like a bodyguard role in like an old folks home, man, I keep working out. I might be like I
I
might
was
be able to get
picturing
into that
you
movie.
a role for you, like think like Jason Statham.
Okay.
You
All right, I
know,
like it.
I
I
need
like
something
it.
like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, and I need you to do all your own stunts though, like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, well, it ain't gonna happen, my man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a lot of ibuprofen for that one.
Oh, we got the good stuff on set. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay, good. There you go. Good, good, good. All right, lastly, we got to do the top 5 EuroLeague all time. And I've been really tough on people. I haven't let them put themselves in to the top 5 yet. But as you said, you've seen some favoritism in my voice when I talk about you and when I announce your names. So I'm gonna make you do the top 4 because as far as I'm concerned, you're in the list.
My first one, and I need to make a correction for the egregious and disrespectful atrocity that was attributed to my Nick Kalathis. The fact he didn't make it, he is my first pick as point guard to lead my team. Um,
I can't believe he didn't make it in there.
Everyone can believe that. Everyone can
Yeah,
believe it. He is
it was
my
kinda
first
shocking.
pick. Um,
I like it. I like it.
I have a good point guard, defensive guy as well. Now, I need another guard. Proximity works. I'll pick Sarunas again. I'll
I
put
knew he
him
had
in
to
there. He
he
was
had to be there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He had to be there. So he's there, and I feel like an easy and safe and good answer would be Tavares. No, he made
Yeah,
top
that's what
25, right? Yeah.
yeah. So who's your 4?
Everyone loves Nick. Nick really loved Diamantidis, so I'll put him as the 3.
I thought you might have went with Prentices or one of those guys.
Well, you put me in there, so like I
I
can't.
know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. I had to
I'm
put
just
you in
going
there.
off of your list. You know,
All right. Well, as long as you're in there, that's all that matters.
all that
Man.
matters.
Congratulations one more time on the 25th anniversary MVP on the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Championship. And nothing but the best of luck for you in the future, my man. You know, I always got your back when I'm commentate, man. Love you and can't wait to see you around the court.
Love you too. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Crossover fans, I hope you enjoyed that incredible interview with Nigel Hayes-Davis, the 25th anniversary MVP. Do not forget to click, like, download, all those subs, subscribe to the Crossover with Joe Arlauckas. We'll be back next season for another year of the Crossover with Joe Arlauckas. See you soon.